Mexico is defined by dramatic geographic features that have shaped the country's politics. Forming the southern portion of North America, Mexico borders the tropical Central American Isthmus. A broad band of desert defines Mexico's northern border with the United States. To the east and west, the Sierra Madre Occidental and Sierra Madre Oriental dominate the Pacific and Caribbean coasts, forming highlands that cradle the heart of modern Mexico. The desolate Baja California Peninsula shields approaches from the Western Sea. To the east, the tropical limestone outcropping named the Yucatan Peninsula dominates entry from the Caribbean into the Gulf of Mexico. Mexico's Central Valley, which includes Mexico City and the adjacent Veracruz region, form Mexico's core. To control Mexico City is to control Mexico, and the greatest conventional threats to Mexico City have historically come from the deep-water port city of Veracruz. Since the 16th century, Spain, France, and the United States, not to mention mutinous factions of the Mexican military, have used Veracruz to threaten and conquer what is now Mexico City. Mexico's mountains and frontier territories are traditional hotbeds of unrest. From the rebels of Chihuahua and Chiapas to the drug kingpins of Nuevo Laredo and Sinaloa, the historical and ongoing challenge for Mexico is to subdue and incorporate far-flung, geographically isolated communities. The modern expression of this struggle can be seen in today's war with drug trafficking organizations, but it is a pattern that has repeated itself throughout history and has been shaped by the nature of Mexico's physical geography.
Mexico is bordering the United States in the north and Belize and Guatemala in the southeast. It also shares maritime borders with Cuba and Honduras. Mexico is the 11th largest country in the world by population, with about 120 million inhabitants, and the second largest Latin American democracy after Brazil. We will now examine the political administrative framework of Mexico. Mexico's politics takes place within the framework of a federal presidential representative democratic republic whose government is based on a congressional system and a multi-party system, with the President of Mexico serving as both head of state and head of government. With the free municipality as the basis of their territorial division and political administrative organization, according to Article 115 of the Constitution of the United Mexican States, the country is divided into 31 states and a federal district. As of 2008, Mexico was comprised of 2,437 municipalities. Mayors, council members, and municipal representatives elected directly by the people are not eligible for re-election for a second term. This is according to Article 115. It did not become a constitutional republic until the Mexican Revolution, with the drafting of the 1917 Constitution, Constitución Política de los Estados Unidos Mexicanos, which is still in force. Article 41 of the Constitution of 1917 and subsequent amendments regulate electoral politics in Mexico. Suffrage is universal for all citizens 18 or older, and voting is compulsory, although this provision is rarely enforced. The Mexican Constitution enshrines the principles of direct election by popular vote of the President and most other elected officials. Executive office holders may not be re-elected, and legislators may not serve consecutive terms. Ordinary elections are held every 6 years for President and members of the Senate, and every 3 years for deputies. Since 1986, midterm elections have renewed one half of the Senate, in addition to the entire Chamber of Deputies. Gubernatorial elections are evenly distributed throughout the sexenio, so that ordinarily no more than 6 governorships are contested in any given year. Although holding multi-candidate elections in which the electorate makes a final choice is one of the basic principles of the Mexican Revolution, the electoral process in Mexico has historically fallen short of this liberal ideal. During the 60-year period of single-party hegemony that followed the consolidation of the revolutionary regime, regular elections became an important symbol of stability and of the regime's self-ascribed democratic character. beyond fulfilling an ambiguous plebiscitary function. However, elections were not intended as means of selecting new leaders, nor were they usually relevant to the public policy process. Instead, leadership turnover was centrally controlled by the president, while most significant interaction between public officials and the citizenry took place within the context of day-to-day corporatist bargaining and informal clientelist relationships. Since then, there has been a regular transfer of power which shifted to the left with the election of Andrés Manuel López Obrador, AMLO Morena Party, as president in 2018. It consists of 31 states plus Mexico City, formerly known as the Federal District. The country is an electoral democracy with universal suffrage and a presidential system of government. The legislative power in the bicameral Congress of the Union, and the judicial power in the federal courts of justice in the case of the federal government. As established by the Constitution, the executive power is headed by the President of the United Mexican States. The President is elected for a non-renewable 6-year term by popular votes, thereby making it a stable economy. Because of political influences, Mexico has signed 11 free trade agreements with 46 countries. The most significant is the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, signed with Canada and the US in 1994. Mexico is also an active member of numerous global bodies like World Trade Organization and OEDC, The Unique Strength of Mexico, 2016. Mexico has access to 50 countries through its mutually free trade agreements, FTA. Some of its largest trading partners are the United States of America, Canada, United Kingdom, and Australia. It is comprised of 11 magistrates who are appointed by the President of the EPRS, European Parliamentary Research Service, Republic, and confirmed by the Senate or the Permanent Committee. Court decisions are made by majority vote, and the full court has the authority to overturn the decisions of its separate chambers. The Supreme Court of the nation, Article 94 of the Constitution, is Mexico's highest court, charged with defending the constitutional order. Experts regard it as a genuine constitutional court, maintaining the balance among the various powers and government areas through judicial resolutions and resolving matters of great public importance. Point 2. The magistrates are appointed for a non-renewable term of 15 years and can be impeached by the Chamber of Deputies. Point 3. The first chamber, which deals with civil and penal matters, has 5 members, and the second chamber, which deals with administrative and labor matters, has 4 members. Point 4. The Supreme Court of Justice cannot extend its decisions beyond specific areas.